Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk about how you don't always have to finish what you started. So what I mean here is when it comes to pursuing goals in life, quite often people will put X amount of time and energy into pursuing a goal, and that makes them feel like they have to finish and follow through on that goal, even if at some point they decide that they actually no longer want this goal in their life, or maybe they realize that achieving it will actually lead them to unhappiness. But so many people lack the courage needed to cut their losses as soon as they have that realization, so they decide to just keep following through and they end up wasting even more time and energy on this dead end goal. So I wanted to make a video to address this because this is a really important thing in life. It's a really important life skill to have. Knowing when to cut your losses is huge. As soon as you realize that something isn't actually what you truly desire or that it will lead to unhappiness for you, you should have the courage to stop pursuing that thing, even if you've already put over 5 years into going after it. A great example here is career choice. Quite often for college, they try to have us choose our major at the age of 18, right before you jump into university. How many 18-year-olds actually know what the hell they want to do with their life? Very few. So a lot of them will actually get roped into things that their parents or their teachers or other people have told them that they would be good at. For instance, a lot of people actually go after the dreams their parents have for them. If their parents say, hey, you would make a great doctor, a great engineer, then that's likely what the kid will end up doing, because if they don't have a good idea of what they want to do for themselves, then they're just going to listen to outside sources on that. And this creates the problem where then they'll spend 3 or 4 years of their time pursuing a degree in that specific industry, and then they realize that they don't even want to do that. It was just them listening to the outside world, but not listening to their own heart. But by then, a lot of them think it's too late. So the whole point here is you need to be able to realize when this happens to you so that you can make decisions as soon as you have the realization. For instance, when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be an engineer. And at the time I pretty much did, but it was also a bit of society telling me I'd be good at it, and my parents thought it was a great career for me. After I told them, of course, they didn't try to influence me, thankfully. But I first wanted to be a mechanical engineer. Then I started thinking, hey, wait, I want to do aerospace instead. And then I actually got an internship at an aerospace company here in LA, and I realized it was boring. I hate to say it, but I was like, this is what I'll be doing for work? This is boring. I don't want to do this. So then I decided I wanted to pursue business instead, and eventually I landed on entrepreneurship because that meant freedom, and I love freedom, and I also love business, and I love how you can help people with business, because my whole life path has really come down to me enjoying helping people. It's why I make these videos. But anyway, my point in telling you all that was that notice how many times I changed what I wanted to do. I changed my goal, my path. I didn't even care how much time I lost in doing so. It meant that I did have to take one more year of junior college, so I did 3 years total there. But then I transferred to university and I got did my bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship. So that one extra year, sure, it could have to some people been considered a waste of time, but it was valuable for me because it allowed me to pivot. It allowed me to say, hey, look, this path I was going down of aerospace engineering isn't what I want to do anymore. And instead of following through on it just because I'd already invested probably like 4 years of my life into it, because I knew that even in high school. So I just decided right then and there, hey, this isn't what I want to do. And even though it upset my parents and it upset some close people in my life, usually family, because I mean, let's face it, everybody would think it'd be cool to have an aerospace engineer in their family. I said, you know what? I'm going to put myself first and do what is right for me. And that's what you all need to do as well. Know when to cut your losses. Know when to stop investing time into a route that you no longer wish to take. And this goes even beyond just your goals and your life path and that sort of thing, although that's the most important. It can even be drilled down to something as minute as when you're binge watching a TV series on Netflix. So many people will continue watching that series because they feel like they've already invested X amount of time watching the first 2 seasons, so now they have to finish it up and watch the third one and then the fourth. But guys, if you get to a place where you no longer enjoy watching that TV series because, let's face it, a lot of them change from season to season and the writing could get progressively worse over time. If you get to a point where that series is no longer enjoyable, you should stop watching it. But even then, a lot of us are loyal, or we feel like we have to finish things, so we'll literally waste more time finishing a TV series that we no longer like watching. I do this with video games at times because I feel like I need to complete them to get my money's worth. But there are so many times where I no longer enjoy playing a video game, and I've now learned to just stop playing it at that point because I'm wasting time that I can never get back. And that's what happens in all of these situations. If you're pursuing a career route that you no longer desire, if you're binge watching a TV series that you no longer enjoy, if you're playing a video game all the way through that you no longer enjoy, you're wasting your time. You cannot get that time back, nor that energy that you spend into it. So that's why it's so important to realize that right then and there, when you have that thought that, hey, I don't want to actually do this anymore, or maybe you realize, hey, this is going to make me unhappy. Stop pursuing that thing right then and there, whatever it is. Just stop right then and there. This also deals with sunk cost fallacy because so many of us feel like once we've invested X amount of time and energy and even money into a goal that we have to follow through with it to get our time and basically to get our investments worth out of it. But that's just not true because sometimes even if you go all the way through to completion with that goal, the results you get are not going to be what you wanted. And if you had shifted and gone after something different, something you actually wanted afterwards, you could have made way more money and been way happier afterwards, even knowing that you lost some time because you're originally going down a path that you decided to stop pursuing. So it's just really important to always think about whether or not your life path, where you're going in life, is going to make you happy. Do what is right for you, not what society tells you to do. Even when it comes to your parents, I know for a lot of people, our career choices are heavily influenced by our parents because a lot of parents out there are really overbearing and they basically want to show off to all the other parents in their age range by using their children as kind of status symbols, and it's messed up. A lot of them will be like, I want my children to be doctors and engineers and lawyers so that I can then show off to this parent over here because we're all insecure and I'm going to say my children are better than yours. That's messed up. That's not cool. So if you have parents like that, just go like this when they start telling you that they want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the hell. Just say, you know what? I'm going to put my own happiness before your desires for me because this is my life that I'm living, not yours. And you're my parent. You should want me to be happy. You shouldn't want me to follow your stupid path just because it's what you want. You should want your children to be happy. Anyway, you can tell I'm really passionate about this because I just can't understand why some parents do this. It's really not cool behavior, and it makes me never want to do this to my own future children down the road because it's not cool. It's really messed up. But anyway, been going at this for a while, so I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.